Hello and welcome to Philosophy Vibe, the channel where we discuss and debate different philosophical ideas. Today we're going to be discussing logical determinism. Now then, logical determinism is an argument against the concept of free will. It attempts to show problems with the idea of free will and argues in favour of determinism. How does it do this? Well, I would like you to consider Truth Apt statements. A Truth Apt statement is a statement that is either true or false. Now, logical determinism essentially claims that any statement about the future is Truth Apt. Any statement about the future is either necessarily true or necessarily false, just like any statement about the past is either necessarily true or necessarily false. Right. So if I say yesterday I went and played football, that statement is either true or false. And as it happens, it's actually true. However, if I make a statement about the future that happens to be true, that means there is a logical certainty that that is how the future will happen, and it is therefore determined. I don't fully understand. Okay, let's use the sea battle example. Imagine a ship full of soldiers sailing around the ocean looking for the enemy. After many days of sailing, one of the soldiers says, "There will not be a sea battle tomorrow." Now, that statement is either true or false. Either there will be a sea battle tomorrow, or there won't be. Let's now say there was not in fact a sea battle, just like the soldier predicted. Does this mean that what the soldier said was true? Yes, he said there was not going to be a sea battle, and there wasn't, so this was true. Exactly. However, this statement was made in the past, so it was necessarily true yesterday that there was not going to be a sea battle. This was a true statement. It was true when the soldier said it. It would have been true if he said it 10 years ago. It would have been true if he said it 100 years ago. A battle was not going to be fought on that day. I see. So if past statements about the future can be necessarily true, then it means that state of affairs is determined to happen in one specific way. I think I get it. So if I was to say, next Monday I will trip over, that statement is either true or false. If I do trip over, that statement was true. And since it was true in the past, it means it was true before it happened. So it was determined that I was going to trip over on that day. Precisely. That which is truly predicted in the past becomes the determined state of affairs in the future. Now, of course, this poses serious questions for the concept of free will. How would we have the power to control and steer the course of events in the future if everything is determined to happen in one way? How can we have free will if the future is already necessarily going to happen in one way? Well, I do not think logical determinism is that problematic for free will. Why? I do not think statements about the future are true or false, but in fact unknown. So essentially they are meaningless statements. There is no truth or falsity attached. Aristotle argued from this point of view, known as the problem of future contingents. If we look at the sea battle example, when the statement was made about the future, there will not be a sea battle tomorrow, at that time the statement was neither true nor false. The only truth to that statement is that it can either be true or false. So either there will be a battle tomorrow or there won't be, and when one becomes true, the other becomes false. There is a contingency. Up until the actual event, the statement is neither true or false. Then when the event takes place or does not take place, then the statement moves into being factually correct or incorrect. I see. So with my example, I say next week I will trip over. That statement is neither true or false until next week, and if I trip over next week, that statement becomes true. So this is not an issue for free will, as statements about the future are not necessarily true or false, but unknown. I do not think I can agree with that. We have Truth Apt statements. These are statements that are either true or false. You are arguing that meaningless statements can somehow turn into Truth Apt statements. I think either a statement is meaningless or it's Truth Apt. It can be one or the other. but it can't be one and then become another. You cannot go from meaningless to truth apt. That's contradictory. I disagree. I think it's perfectly reasonable. If you say the statement before the state of affairs, it is just a prediction. It is neither true or false. If you say it after, it becomes truth apt, as it is about a state of affairs that has happened. Well, there you go. That's all the time we have for now. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the vibe. And what are your thoughts? Is logical determinism a good argument against free will? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care. Until next time.